Today wasn't necessarily a day of celebration for Indigenous communities in Canada who have a long and painful history with the monarchy. King Charles now has an opportunity to right some of the wrongs of the past. The big question is, will he?
We must find new ways to come to terms with the darker and more difficult aspects of the past.
Those words spoken during last year's royal visit to Canada, just months before Charles became king. 2 words, though, a powerful "I'm sorry" were never said. Would a formal mea culpa have made a difference?
Apologies only go so far. And for me, it's him physically coming to each community, seeing the harms done, and acknowledging that, he and his family and the monarchy have the means to fix a lot of injustices on our communities.
Dr. Paulina Johnson of Samson Cree Nation in central Alberta, Treaty 6 territory, has trouble believing Charles's statement about truth and reconciliation. Instead, an awkward moment from a previous royal trip remains etched in her mind.
I just couldn't buy it. I always think back to how Charles and Camilla had kind of giggled when 2 Inuit throat singers were sharing their culture. I think that's telling because it kind of indicated to me that it wasn't authentic. And authenticity is really core for Indigenous peoples.
Crystal Harrison Collin has a large following on TikTok, a space she uses to share her culture as an Anishinaabe woman living in Sioux Lookout, Ontario, covered by Treaty 3.
It allows me to have my own voice and my own opinions, and a platform to speak on subjects as colonialism and Indian residential schools.
Indigenous, it was the residential school that severed everything and caused great damage.
Harrison's father is a survivor of Canada's residential school system. For her, reconciliation begins at a bare minimum with a concrete apology from the new king.
We need to make reparations for Indian residential schools, for upholding colonialism, to give our land back.
There's no knowing right now whether Charles will venture down that road, upholding treaty promises or revoking the doctrine of discovery as so many have called for.
I have doubt, but I can remain hopeful. If not with King Charles, then perhaps his son, William.
It's my hope that, the monarchy can acknowledge or would acknowledge their role in our health and well-being. But will they? Probably not.